Hi, I'm Yvonne.
And I'm Brian.
That's right, he's Brian. Welcome to Point Blank, where we get real on the everyday issues you face.
That's right.
And guess what? As you can see, we've quite a crowd here in our living room this evening. Who do we have? Serene Siu, the editor of Stomp, who was also a former English teacher.
Bet you didn't know that, yeah?
Yes. Not many people know that, actually, Serene. And Ms. Lau Chun Wei, the executive director of the Singapore Retailers Association. And also, Eileen Yong.
Wow.
That's right, a polytechnic student who also happens to be my sister. She's here not to talk about me, of course, but about her experience in our local education system. So what exactly is on our show tonight, Brian?
I know, we have a special show today because our show is actually about speaking good English.
That's right.
In Singapore, yes, that's right. So,
do you think Singaporeans' English are, of a good standard? Do you think, we are in trouble when it comes to speaking good standard English? So, yeah, we have our guest this evening to find out. So, where do you think Singapore stands in terms of English?
Standard of English.
Just feel free.
Anyone?
I think we're in trouble.
You're in trouble. We are in trouble.
That's her
Whoa.
We're in trouble. So just to have a feel about where everyone is, how about you, Serene? How do you think we are doing on the English front?
I don't think we're that bad. I think when it comes to the right situations, people do tend to try their best to string sentences together. And it's because our culture is just so varied and wide. So I think people are able to pitch the standard of English to the right situation.
But do you think it's like second nature, or do we have to think about it? Like that 1-2 seconds where we have to string and pronounce and enunciate our words more carefully?
I suppose so, because the thing is, for us, we have mother tongue as well when we study in school. So sometimes I believe that, it's clear that one can be more comfortable in one language as compared to the other. Yep. So when you are discussing, maybe you really have to take time to think.
How about you, Eileen? Among your friends, how do you think the standard of English is?
My friends don't really, they're not very comfortable in English. Yeah, but they try to speak to me in English because I'm more English speaking.
Oh, are they all Singaporean, your friends?
Yeah, they grew up in neighborhood schools. Then their English is mixed with Chinese and I think some Hokkien.
Some Hokkien. Yeah. That's quite normal. That's quite common in Singapore, or Singlish as we know. So, Razor TV finds out because we wonder whether Singaporeans can take up the challenge of English. And, every student's favorite, we put them to the test.
Yep, I hit the streets and gave it to the Singaporeans. I tested them on 2 basic English language skills, pronunciation and grammar. Here's the Razor TV English test. Take a look, guys. How's it going, guys? This is Brian De Silva for Razor TV, and in conjunction with the Speak Good English movement, I'm here in Ang Mo Kio Hub to test out the proficiency level of Singaporeans today. Come on, let's go. It's very simple English proficiency questions. When I show you a word, just read it out to me and pronounce it the way you would pronounce it, okay?
Photography.
Say that again?
Photography.
Okay, next word. Pronounce this word.
Memorable.
Memorable, okay. Now for the next question, there's going to be 2 phrases. Pick the phrase which is grammatically correct. And here you go.
Shoplifting is a crime.
Shoplifting is a crime. That is correct. And one last question. Here you go.
Lights off, please.
Lights off, please. That is correct. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, this guy speaks good English. What is this word?
Photography.
Photography.
Photography. Photography.
Photography, thank you very much. Okay, I'll show you a word. You just pronounce it for me, okay? Here we go.
Photography.
What word is this?
Photography. Photography. Photography.
Photographer. Photography.
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 Here's the word. Just pronounce the word. Pronounce the word. Just.
Photography.
Photography. Okay. And the next word is
memorable.
Nice. Okay.
Memorable. Memorable.
Memorable. Memorable.
memorable.
Memorable.
Memorable. All right, that's correct.
Memorable.
Memorable.
Member. Rubber. I don't know how to pronounce.
Or which of these two phrases is the correct one?
Memorable.
No. Which memorable was the last question?
Shoplifting is a crime.
Shoplifting is a crime.
Shoplifting is a crime.
Shoplifting is a crime.
Shop thrift is a crime.
Shoplifting is a crime.
Shoplifting is a crime.
It's a crime. Shoplifting is a crime. Both is correct.
Both is correct?
Yeah.
So you would say both?
Yeah, both correct, yeah.
Lights off, please.
Lights off, please.
Lights off, please. Please off the light.
Please off the lights.
Police of the light.
Please off the lights is your choice?
Yes.
Both correct.
Both correct.
Lights off, please.
Lights off, please.
Please off the light. Please off the lights.
Please off the lights. Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much. Please off the lights. So there you go. Everyone got photography wrong. Why do you think so? What do you think about that?
Because they think photo and they think graphy, so photography lah.
I blame the primary school system. You know how your spelling teacher, your English teacher used to go, my grandmother brought me to the market.
Market lah.
Market.
So because they have to say it a few times, so people have to like spell it out in full, so market.
So is that breaking down the syllables phonetically? That's
Very
actually.
time, yes.
So we've been learning the wrong way. Is that what you're trying to say?
I would just say that we place so much emphasis on spelling in primary school that perhaps we lose sight of the beauty of the language.
Maybe
It
that's
doesn't
why the
flow.
guy the first thing he did was to spell.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, so bringing back to your point, and after watching this, Miss Lau, do you think we're in trouble? Do you still think we're in trouble?
Yes, I do.
Tell us.
I do. I think, as Serene was saying, that most people can manage. But I think one of the dangers here is that just because a person uses a few words of English, they think they can speak English. And I think that is what's getting us into trouble. We don't realize whether what we are speaking is standard English or not. A grandmother, for instance, who has never learned English before, who never spoken English before, but because now her grandchildren are coming back from preschool or whichever standard and speaking a few words of English, she tries to speak to her grandchildren with a few words of English. She then says, I can speak English, which is not really true. And if you look at, the snippets that you had there, I wonder where we are going.
Yeah. As you can see, it was like a wide spectrum of different races and age groups.
Yeah, but a lot of them, perceptually, I look at them, they all look like students. And
or educated people, yeah.
Or still in school.
Yep, that's right.
And, to think that English is our first language in school, you're taught all subjects in English except for mother tongue. And you get that level of English?
I know.
I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, actually, bring it back to Elin. What is the standard of English in your school across the board? I mean, the whole standard.
Are you surprised at all by what you saw just now?
Quite surprised. Because in secondary school, we all speak English, so I don't think we find it a difficulty in pronouncing. But then sometimes, like, when you suddenly ask us, then maybe we will think twice about how we're going to pronounce it. Yeah.
Okay.
So you think they got a bit self-conscious and got it all wrong, is it?
Yeah.
But I find something very interesting. Eli, maybe you can tell me this. You say that in school you all speak English, yeah? But these days, wherever we go, on the buses, on the MRTs, they're not speaking English, they're speaking Mandarin. Why is this when, like I said, in school the first language is English? I still haven't got an answer yet. Maybe you can help us with that answer. Why is it that everybody speaks in Mandarin? And then, because they don't have the full vocabulary in Mandarin, they inject words of English. So I'm not sure which they're actually better in and which are they more comfortable.
Yeah, I think
in.
both Eileen and Serene can tell us
confused.
that, as they were from both of them are from the Singapore education system, so they will be able to tell us. So starting with you, Eileen, why do you think so?
I think that it's because most mixed schools or like neighborhood schools, their culture is to mix their language, but we don't really do that in like I was from a girls' school, so we don't really speak Chinese, and then we also have difficulty with that.
With Mandarin.
Yeah.
So you're not really good at Mandarin.
Not, I cannot really speak it. Yeah, but I can write.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. Yeah.
Miss Lau, you actually you said something about the English that people think they're speaking isn't really English at all.
No.
Proper
They
English.
think that it is
But
English.
they think it is.
Yeah, just
Okay.
because they can speak, use English words, they think they are speaking English.
Do you think this is the case for people in school right now? When they have conversations with their friends, they think they're speaking proper English, but actually
I'm
they're
not
not.
sure. I think that for some of them, that is actually the case.
Yep.
Because of what they're exposed to. I'm not talking about the news programs and things like that, yeah? But if you look at the sitcoms, especially the locally produced sitcoms, every time something in English is shown, it's in Singlish.
Yeah.
It's in really, really awful English. And I don't know why that's the case and whether that perpetuates the problem or not. As a teacher, maybe you can tell us what
do you
you
think that, firstly, do you think that we are that much in trouble? And yeah, that's a good question as well, whether it perpetuates the problem or you don't see anything wrong with that.
Actually, I find that when I was teaching, right, I actually asked my children before my kids, why is it that you tend to speak in your MT, is Malay or Chinese, outside of the classroom? And what they told me is this, because they feel that when they speak in their mother tongue to their peers, they feel closer to them. Whereas, in fact, they associate the language with being proud, being atas, and so they try to, in a way, blend in with one another.
So like Singlish is like one of the people,
Yeah.
it's like a common bond that we all share.
What people in Mandarin call 亲切感. You feel that you are more intimate culturally and all that. I'm sure our Malay friends and Indian friends have their own version of their own rojak.
Their own
When it comes to
lexicon, yeah.
Singlish. Yeah, which really comes to the point in school. There's this tension between mother tongue and English. I have not heard many time when Chinese teachers are saying they're not paying enough attention to the mother tongue. Actually, everyone's pushing for English. How about mother tongue when it's supposed to be, mother tongue, the original language of whatever culture in whatever race you're from, Chinese, Indian, Malay. So, what do you guys think of that? The tension between, balancing, being effectively bilingual, and yet being good at both. What do you think?
Did you have Did you have trouble? You had trouble, right, with your English and your Chinese? I mean, with your Mandarin. Did you feel it?
Yeah, but I like studying Chinese. Like I had to memorize the strokes, all this.
What were your teachers like? Did they tell you that you have to buck up on your Mandarin as well?
No, but my teacher my Chinese teacher when she taught, she was very interesting. She related to us very well. That's why I think that the lesson was interesting. Make me like Chinese more. Yeah.
Was the teachers equally encouraging of their respective languages? Like, did the English teacher said you can only learn English and speak English? Don't speak Mandarin outside of school.
I remember there was Speak Good English campaign.
Okay.
Then they wanted us just to speak in English, but actually most of the time we only spoke in English. Yeah, my friends also had a problem with speaking in Mandarin. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, which leads us to the point, where I remember during my school days when teachers told us, don't speak Mandarin during my classes. And all of our subjects are taught in English, right? So, there my Chinese teachers are lamenting, they don't speak Mandarin outside of my Chinese class, So, there's this tension. And on the other hand, we are not doing well enough in English, it seems, according to a lot of popular belief. So, Ms. Lau, you're mentioning that, just because people know English, that doesn't mean that they can speak good English. So, what's your definition of good English?
I think here we are not talking about good is a bit of a subjective term, right? I think here we are talking about what is standard English, what is a universally understood form of English. Some people, in Singapore, we speak Singlish and that's fine. We understand each other perfectly. And some people will say, that's good English. Because, what is the whole objective of communication at the end of the day is being able to understand each other, and we speak Singlish, we throw in all our, dialects and so on, and we understand each other perfectly. We have succeeded. But is that a universally understood form of English? To me, good English or standard English is a universally understood form of English. And this is what I hear, from some people, and they say that people who speak English as their native language, they know that in their heads. So when they hear us speaking sentences which are so convoluted, that are not grammatically correct, but somehow they adapt their minds, they can understand us. But for somebody who learns English as a second language, who learns it in a very formal way, second language, let it say a Korean or a Japanese or, PRC, they learn the formal form of English. When they hear our very mixed up English, they can't make head or tail of it. So while we understand each other with a mixed up sentence, is that universally understood by these people who have learned the formal structure of English? And if it doesn't, then that's, like I said, where I'm a little bit concerned, because we are a global city. We have people from all over the world coming to us. We interact with people from all over the world, and if we cannot get ourselves understood universally, then I think we are in a bit of a problem.
With Singapore, with the IRs coming up and Singapore and MBA getting more open to overseas talent coming to Singapore, do you think now the natural progression would be to actually put a stop to the Singlish and start, like you said, teaching proper English?
I'm not sure about putting a stop to Singlish. I think Singlish is something that's unique to us, and I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be proud of having that, that belonging to us. But I think it is important that we know what the time and place to use whichever mode. You were saying that if we speak a very colloquial, in a very colloquial manner, you feel a little bit closer to each other, and that's fine. If we are at home with each other, I can speak Singlish like the rest of like anybody else can. But you don't stand up and do a presentation in Singlish, for instance. And I don't know in your experience, but I've heard from friends who are teachers, and they say that it has come to a stage where students write their essays in Singlish.
Okay.
And that is scary.
They text in Singlish.
God, I hate that.
IRC.
Have you had that experience?
IRC.
Yeah, I think it becomes spelled U, becomes the
letter U.
alphabet
Yeah.
U. Yes.
And that's why I say I'm worried.
Okay, we've got very impassioned people on the set. Well, so I suppose you want to know and hear more. So tell us what you think. Keep commenting. Interact with us and ask our people. Our good people in our living room more questions. And we'll be back on the topic of Singlish and Standard English after the break.